The funeral was a lie. Vader stood alone in the shadows of his meditation chamber, the Emperor's words echoing in his mind. She died. And it seems in your anger, you killed her. For years he believed it. The pain, the guilt it fueled, his power, his rage. But the Force whispered a different truth. A truth Palpatine had buried. His children lived. Vader's gloved hand clenched. The Emperor had taken everything from him, his identity, his limbs, his soul, but not this, not them. On Tatooine, the twin suns scorched the desert as Vader's shuttle descended near the Lars moisture farm. Owen and Beru knew who he was the moment his shadow filled their doorway. They tried to stop him. They failed. Vader lifted the boy with the Force, studying the face so achingly familiar. Blue eyes, Padme's eyes. Your name? Vader's voice was cold, mechanical. Luke, the boy stammered. Vader paused. You are coming with me. Owen lunged forward, blaster raised. Vader's hand flicked. The weapon clattered to the sand. Do not make me kill you, Vader warned. He is my son. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. Days later, on Alderaan, Senator Bail Organa stood between Vader and the young Princess Leia. The girl's eyes burned with defiance. Her small fists clenched. She didn't understand. Not yet. You cannot take her, Bail said, voice steady despite the terror in his chest. Vader tilted his head. She is mine by blood. You have cared for her well, but her place is with me now. Leia stepped forward. I'm not going anywhere with a monster. Vader knelt, meeting her gaze. For a heartbeat, something flickered behind the mask. Grief, longing, something almost human. You are stronger than you know, Leia. And you will need that strength for what is coming. He took both children into the stars, vanishing into the unknown regions. The Emperor's spies reported the betrayal within hours. Palpatine's rage shook the very foundations of the Imperial Palace. Vader had chosen his blood over his master. And now, the hunt would begin. The fortress was ancient, buried on a nameless moon in wild space. No empire, no rebellion, just stone, silence, and ghosts. Vader stood in the courtyard, watching his children. Luke practiced his stances, clumsy but determined. Leia sat cross-legged, arms folded, refusing to participate. She hadn't spoken to him in 3 days. Again, Vader commanded. Luke ignited the training saber, blue light casting shadows across his young face. He moved through the forms, slow but focused. Vader saw Padme in every gesture, her grace, her resolve. Your footwork is weak. You telegraph your strikes. Vader's voice was harsh, but his hand hesitated before correcting the boy's grip. The Force is not a weapon. It is a current. Let it flow through you. Luke closed his eyes, reaching out. For a moment, something sparked connection, clarity, peace. Vader felt it too. A flicker of something he'd buried long ago. Then the darkness surged back, choking it out. Vader turned away, fists clenched. He could teach them the mechanics, the discipline, the forms. But the light? That required something he no longer possessed. Hope, compassion, trust. Why are you doing this? Leia's voice cut through the silence like a blade. Vader faced her. Because you are my children. You're a Sith Lord, a killer. You serve the Emperor. Her eyes burned with accusation. What could you possibly teach us about the light? The question hung in the air, heavier than any blow. Vader knelt, lowering himself to her level. I was once a Jedi, Anakin Skywalker. Your mother loved him. She believed in him. His voice cracked, just slightly. I teach you because I failed her. I will not fail you. Leia's expression softened, just a fraction. Then prove it. Show me you're more than the mask. Vader had no answer. That night, he stood alone beneath the stars, reaching for the light side as he once had. But the Force recoiled from him, cold and distant. The darkness clung to him like chains. And somewhere, across the galaxy, The Emperor's Inquisitors were already closing in. The children's laughter echoed in the halls. It wouldn't last. The hologram flickered in the throne room, casting Palpatine's twisted face in sickly blue light. "Lord Vader has betrayed us," the Emperor hissed, his voice dripping with venom. "He has stolen what is mine by right. His children will be turned or destroyed." The Grand Inquisitor bowed low, his pale face expressionless. "What are your orders, my master?" "Find them. Bring me the children alive if possible." As for Vader, Palpatine's lips curled into a cruel smile. Remind him of the price of disobedience. The Inquisitors moved like shadows across the galaxy. The second sister traced Vader's last known coordinates. The fifth brother interrogated informants on the Outer Rim. The seventh sister hacked Imperial records, searching for any hint of the Dark Lord's location. It took weeks, but the Empire's reach was long. On the hidden moon, Vader felt the disturbance in the Force before the alarm sounded. Cold, hungry, familiar. He'd trained some of these hunters himself. "Luke, Leia, inside, now." His voice was sharp, urgent. Luke's hand went to his training saber. "What's happening?" "They've found us." Leia's eyes widened. "The Empire?" "Worse. Inquisitors." The first blade ignited in the courtyard a spinning red disk of death. The Grand Inquisitor stepped from the shadows, flanked by 3 others. Their presence was suffocating, a void in the Force. "Lord Vader," the Grand Inquisitor said, his voice cold and mocking. "The Emperor is disappointed. Surrender the children, and perhaps he will show mercy." Vader ignited his crimson blade, the hum filling the night air. "There is no mercy in the dark side. You should know that by now." "Then you have chosen death." The Inquisitors attacked as one, their sabers screaming through the air. Vader met them head-on, his power overwhelming, but he was alone, outnumbered. And behind him, his children were vulnerable. Luke gripped his saber, stepping forward. "Father, we can help." "No," Vader roared. "Stay back." But Leia was already moving, reaching out with the Force, raw and untrained. The fortress walls trembled. The battle had only just begun. The Inquisitors were dead. Their bodies lay scattered across the courtyard, broken and still. But victory came at a cost. Vader knelt in the shadows, his armor cracked, his breathing labored. Sparks hissed from the damaged respirator. Luke and Leia stood over him, silent, shaken. They had fought, and they had felt the power surging through them, terrifying and intoxicating. "Who were you?" Leia's voice was quiet, but unyielding. "Before the mask, before all of this, haha." Vader's head lowered. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, slowly, he began. "I was Anakin Skywalker, a Jedi Knight. I fought in the Clone Wars alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi. I fell in love with your mother, Padme Amidala." His voice cracked. "I wanted to save her. The Emperor, Palpatine, promised me the power to stop death itself. I believed him." Luke stepped closer. "What happened?" "I betrayed the Jedi. I helped him destroy them. And in my arrogance, I lost everything. Your mother, she died because of me. The Emperor lied. There was no saving her." "Only darkness." Leia's fists clenched. "You murdered the Jedi. You served the monster who destroyed the Republic." "Yes." Vader's admission was raw, unfiltered. "I am the monster." Tears streamed down Luke's face, but his hand rested on his father's shoulder. "You're trying to change. That has to mean something." Leia turned away, her emotions a storm. Anger, grief, confusion. The Force responded, lifting stones from the ground, swirling around her in a chaotic dance. "Leia," Vader reached out. "Don't," her voice shook. "I need time." Over the following days, the twins trained harder. Their power grew at a frightening pace. Luke's connection to the light deepened, pure, and radiant. Leia's strength was fierce, protective, balanced on a knife's edge between light and dark. Vader watched them, pride and fear warring in his chest. They were stronger than he'd ever been at their age. But strength attracted attention. Far across the stars, Palpatine felt the disturbance, 2 new Force signatures blazing like twin suns. He smiled. "Come to me, young Skywalkers. Let us see what you truly are." Luke found him at dawn, sitting on the cliff's edge, staring at the distant stars. "You don't sleep, do you?" Luke asked, settling beside him. "Sleep is difficult," Vader admitted. The mechanical rasp of his breathing filled the silence. "Do you dream?" Vader hesitated. "Sometimes. Of your mother. Of what I've done. Of faces I can never forget." Luke nodded, saying nothing for a long time. Then, quietly, "I think she'd be proud of what you're doing now." Vader's mask turned toward him. "I do not deserve your compassion." "Maybe not," Luke said. "But you have it anyway." Something shifted in Vader's chest, a warmth he hadn't felt in years. It hurt, like frostbite thawing. Leia was harder. She challenged him at every turn, questioned his every decision. But slowly, her walls began to crack. One night, during meditation, she reached out through the Force and felt him. Not the monster, not the mask. The man beneath, broken, grieving, trying. She didn't forgive him, but she began to understand. Their training evolved. Vader taught them not just combat, but philosophy, control, sacrifice, the difference between power and wisdom. And for the first time in decades, he found himself speaking of the light without bitterness. "The Force is balance," he told them. The Jedi forgot that. They feared emotion, attachments, love. But love is not weakness. It is the strongest power in the galaxy. "Then why did it destroy you?" Leia asked. Vader paused. "Because I loved selfishly. I wanted to possess, to control. Your mother taught me a different kind of love, one that gives freely, without demand. I learned that lesson too late." Luke and Leia looked at each other. Then, together, they placed their hands on their father's armored shoulders. The Force flowed between them, warm, bright, healing. For just a moment, Vader felt it, the light. Not as a memory, but as something real, present, alive. A tear slid down his scarred face, hidden beneath the mask. But across the galaxy, Palpatine's eyes snapped open. His apprentice was slipping away. And he would not allow it. The Empire mobilized. The endgame had begun. The sky turned black with star destroyers. Vader stood on the fortress ramparts, watching the Imperial fleet emerge from hyperspace. 12 capital ships, hundreds of TIE fighters, an entire legion of ground troops. Thrawn had come personally. "Father?" Luke's voice was small, frightened. Vader placed a hand on his son's shoulder. "Stay close to your sister. No matter what happens. Survive." "We're not leaving you," Leia said, her jaw set. "You may not have a choice." The hologram activated in the courtyard. Thrawn's calm, measured voice filled the air. "Lord Vader, this rebellion ends now. Surrender yourself and the children. The Emperor may yet show mercy." Vader's response was cold. "Tell your master, I am done kneeling." Thrawn's red eyes narrowed. "So be it. Commence orbital bombardment." The first turbolaser struck the western wall, vaporizing stone in a flash of green fire. The fortress shook. Alarms screamed. Luke and Leia ignited their sabers blue and green, shining against the darkness. "Together," Vader said. "We fight together." The dropships landed. Stormtroopers poured out, blasters blazing. Vader moved like a storm, his blade a crimson blur. Troopers fell by the dozens, but there were too many. Luke deflected bolts, his movements precise, controlled. Leia reached out with the Force, crushing AT-ST walkers, hurling debris like missiles. Their power was staggering. But the Empire was endless. Vader felt it then, Palpatine's presence, reaching across the stars, suffocating, oppressive. The Emperor's voice slithered into his mind. "You cannot win, my old friend. Bring the children to me, and I will spare you. Defy me, and I will take them by force." Vader's fists clenched. For so long, he had been the Emperor's weapon, his slave, his monster. No more. "Luke, Leia, the ship. Now. We're not running. This is not running. This is surviving." Vader turned, his voice softer. "I will hold them. Go." Luke's eyes filled with tears. "Father, please. Go." The twins ran. Vader turned back to the Empire, alone against an army. And for the first time in decades, he smiled beneath the mask. Let them come. The throne room was vast, empty, oppressive. Luke and Leia stood before the Emperor, their sabers ignited, casting twin lights against the darkness. Palpatine sat on his throne, grinning like a serpent. "At last," he rasped, "the children of Anakin Skywalker, you have your father's power and your mother's fire. Magnificent." "We're not here to join you," Leia said, her voice steady. "No?" Palpatine's yellow eyes gleamed. "Then why come at all?" Luke stepped forward. "Because this ends today. You've controlled our father long enough." The Emperor laughed, a cold, mocking sound. "Controlled? Oh, child, Vader chose this. He knelt willingly. He slaughtered the Jedi. He burned the galaxy. And he loved every moment." End quote. "You're lying," Luke said, but doubt flickered in his eyes. "Am I?" Palpatine rose, his robes billowing. "Your father is weak. He always has been. Attachment, sentiment, love. These are chains, not strengths. I simply freed him from pretense." Leia's saber trembled. "He's changing. He's fighting you." "Is he?" Palpatine's grin widened. "Then where is he now?" The doors exploded inward. Vader strode through the smoke and fire, his armor scorched, his cape torn. Behind him, the corpses of royal guards littered the hallway. "Here," Vader said, his voice a low growl. Palpatine's smile faded. "You dare." "I dare everything." Vader ignited his saber. "You took my life, my love, my soul, but you will not take my children." The Emperor's face twisted with rage. "Then you will die with them." Lightning erupted from Palpatine's hands, a torrent of pure hatred. Vader raised his saber, absorbing the blast, his body convulsing. Luke and Leia moved as one, shielding their father, their combined power pushing back the storm. The throne room shook. The Force itself seemed to scream. Palpatine's voice boomed. "You cannot defeat me! I am the dark side incarnate!" Vader stepped forward, his voice calm. "No, you are just a man, and men can die." Together, the Skywalkers advanced. The final battle had begun. The lightning intensified, arcing across the throne room like a living storm. Palpatine's rage was infinite, his power overwhelming. But the Skywalkers did not break. Luke moved left, his blue blade deflecting bolts of energy. Leia moved right, her green saber a shield of light. And Vader stood center, absorbing the Emperor's wrath, his body burning but unyielding. "You were my greatest creation," Palpatine screamed. "And you betray me for this? For sentiment? For weakness?" Vader's voice was steady. "For love." He surged forward, driving his blade toward the Emperor's heart. Palpatine twisted, dodging, countering with another wave of lightning. Vader's respirator exploded, sparks flying. He collapsed, gasping. "Father!" Luke rushed to his side. "No, stay back." Vader wheezed. But Leia was already moving. She channeled the Force, lifting debris, hurling it at the Emperor with furious precision. Palpatine deflected it all, laughing. "Yes, feel the anger. Let it consume you. Join me, and together we will rule." "Never," Leia said, and she reached for her brother's hand. Luke understood instantly. They closed their eyes, breathing as one. The Force flowed between them, not dark, not light, but balanced, pure. A power Palpatine had never understood. The light erupted from their joined hands, a brilliant wave that consumed the throne room. Palpatine screamed, his body disintegrating, his essence unraveling. The dark side collapsed inward, devouring itself. And then, silence. Vader lay on the floor, his mask shattered, his scarred face exposed. Luke and Leia knelt beside him, tears streaming down their faces. "You did it," Vader whispered, his voice hoarse. "Human, you brought balance." "We did it together," Luke said, gripping his father's hand. Anakin Skywalker smiled, truly smiled, for the first time in decades. Padme would be so proud. "Rest now," Leia whispered. "You're free." Anakin's eyes closed, his breathing slowed, and then, peacefully, he became one with the Force. The Empire crumbled, the galaxy exhaled, and from the ashes, a new hope rose, carried forward by the legacy of the Skywalkers. The Force, at last, was balanced.